So today we're on our way to Colorado. We're going to have some fun as a family for a couple days, and then Ruthie is going to have a gymnastics meet down in Colorado Springs. Today we're going to talk about packing and how you pack for trips. So this is a quick, easy trip. It's only about 3 or 4 days, and so we didn't have to pack too much. So I want to start off with the 3 things you need to pack. So when you're packing for a trip or doing really anything else with kids for a trip, you really care about how you are going to decrease stress, because we don't like stress as parents, right? So 3 things you want to make sure you pack. Okay, first of all, things that cannot be replaced. Okay, so for this trip, Ruthie's leotard cannot be replaced. This is a special team leotard that we cannot find anywhere else. Right?
And her warm-up.
And her warm-up. We have to bring her warm-up, right? And so these are things that cannot be replaced. Really, that's about it. Anything else we need on this trip can be replaced. Okay? Maybe my debit card. It's really difficult to replace the debit card. So that brings us to the second point. Things that are difficult to replace. Okay? So, it's hard. It would make the trip a lot more stressful if I lost my debit card. It would make the trip a lot more stressful if Kim didn't have her contact lenses, right? Or I didn't have my glasses. So these are things that are difficult to replace. Okay? Anything else that's really difficult to replace?
Can't think of anything else.
Okay. Number 3, things that are expensive to replace. So maybe it's easy to replace something, but it would be really expensive. So for example, our cell phones. We could go into the AT&T store and buy a new cell phone and do that very easily, but it would be expensive. So we want to make sure that we don't forget our cell phones, because it would be very expensive to replace. Not difficult, but expensive. Okay? So those are the 3 things you want to make sure that you bring with you and pack for your trip, or else it's going to become a lot more stressful. So how does this apply to life in general? Well, you can take anything and say, hey, what are the things that are going to cause me stress, right? And set those as your highest priorities. So
Jeff, we just missed Sundance.
we didn't miss Sundance, it's right here.
Wait, but 585. Did we miss 585?
I think there's only one exit here.
But it's
fine. We didn't miss that exit.
okay.
Okay, so anyhow, so keep this in mind for any aspect of your life. So what are the things that cause you the most stress? And put those as your top priority when you're doing your planning and your scheduling. So when traveling, again, things that cannot be replaced, you want to make sure you pack. Things that would be difficult to replace, or things that would be very expensive to replace. What?
I don't know. It's just...
You ready?
I don't know.
We can keep it together. Okay, you can go. So did we miss the turn?
So we missed the turn. So sometimes there are things that get you distracted. Whether that's your husband deciding to video right before we return, or whether it's screaming kids or whatever. But you adapt, and sometimes you have to make course corrections. You turn around and make your turn. Sometimes you recognize you've gone so far that you actually have to make a full route correction and just decide to take a different route because it's not worth going back. But it's, you just go with the flow. That's what traveling is with kids. It's just being willing to adapt and being willing to enjoy the way.
And sometimes not letting your husband drive?
And sometimes you don't let your husband drive. And sometimes you recognize what role you're better at. If you're a better driver to be able to keep up with the different signs, then that's your job. And if you're a better navigator, then that's where you should sit and is make sure that we're navigating the right way. But, stick to what you're good at. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Anyway, there we go.
Travel safely.
Travel safely.